being empathetic and not sympathetic, right? Imagine yourself as an average Indian merchant who's probably not tech savvy, hasn't used a lot of apps except WhatsApp and YouTube, doesn't probably understand English that well, doesn't get complex terms, and just wants to probably get onto the digital payments wheel, have a QR code and accept payments, so you don't lose out on any user that probably doesn't have cash or wants to pay through QR code, right? While while you want to do that, there's a problem, right? Can't use an app. How do you do that? Uh, it's imperative here for product managers like us to make a product specifically for them, keeping them in mind, by keeping everything extremely simple and making anything that is optional, that is not required at this point, as a retention or engagement product at a later point in the app. The goal right now is to acquire a merchant by keeping everything dead simple, right? I'd say I have a few learnings from and insights from my phone experience. I'd say I'll categorize into three terms. One is getting real-time feedback for whatever is going on. Let's say if a user probably enters the wrong bank account number in your onboarding, right? It's imperative for you to give them the real-time feedback and tell them in actionable steps what you exactly need to do to resolve this. And believe me, these are like big problems right now because of bank failures, because of penny drop issues. Even simple things like real-time feedback in fintech becomes complex. Second would be avoiding information overload of any sort. It has to be a single one-step process. Do not combine a lot of process in a single screen in hope to avoid number of clicks. Number of clicks is actually not important here. You can probably increase number of clicks if you have to avoid information overload. Don't put them into a position of not understanding terms that they haven't yet heard of. There's a lot of panic and fear in terms of Indian merchants because we as Indians are a low trust society, and we need to ensure that we keep them as focused as possible during the journey. Third is to use very simple, basic design, which has been used since a while, which they might have been familiar with. Something like what YouTube or WhatsApp does. Anything fancy like CRED doesn't really work because this audience doesn't really know how to figure out components of the